Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You're tuned in with Cindy and John today. In today's video, we're going to talk about 12 tips that will help you plan your wedding. So as you guys know, John and I are planning a wedding at the moment, and we have learned a lot of different things that I think we have some newfound information and we can share that with all of you guys. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, don't forget to subscribe for more, and yeah, let's begin.
Yeah, we really hope this information helps you out. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. So this is tip A before the rest of the tips. Watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, read everything you can on the internet, get as much information as you can about the whole process, because it's just going to help you, give you ideas, and you might only pick out one idea from this list, but if it's one idea you didn't have before, that's going to help you out.
Absolutely. So what's our first point?
I don't remember, you wrote them down. Budget. It was budget.
It was budget.
That's what it was.
Have a budget. Plan together prices that you want to stick to for everything. Have an overall wedding budget, because that's super helpful. It's really good to be on the same page with that, because sometimes you can lose. This whole wedding world will suck you into spending more money. Yeah,
ruined.
That's a big one.
Weddings.
I mean, I love Pinterest, don't get me wrong. But if you don't have a budget or something that'll keep you grounded, you will look at things and be like, oh, I want that and that and that, and it can get out of hand very quickly. So that's something we've both been working on, is staying within our budget, and it's been really helping us. So if you guys are planning a wedding together, I would recommend that you kind of come up with a number and then pay attention to like the particulars as well. So there's a lot of little parts.
Right, and so you need to write down every single thing that you could possibly spend money on. Make sure that's part of the budget. Make sure there's a line item for everything. You know, if you want to have a flower girl, what are those rose petals going to be? You know, if you want to have signs at your venues, where are those coming from? How are you going to get them? When are you going to get them? And all of those things, you need to get a whole lot of detail in your initial run at the budget, so that you can come up with something that's actually reasonable and on point.
For point number 2, you want to make sure you shop around a lot. Some vendors will charge different prices than other vendors, and it can get, there's a lot of differences within, I guess, the pricing. So it's good to have at least 3 vendors you see for everything. That's one thing we did, and I think it really helped us. We never went with the first person we talked with. I'm not saying you guys can't do that. I'm sure maybe you go with a person and you like them, that's fine. But it's very helpful to have, I guess, more information about different people. Even
just talking to 3 vendors will give you 3 different opinions about something. And the more information you can get about stuff, the better. The way that they structure contracts is different from vendor to vendor. So whether that's a photographer or a DJ or your venue, or even if you're trying to block out a hotel, the way each person does it, the way they write contracts, it varies. And so you need to find out what those variations are so that you can make an informed decision.
Yeah, and if anything, it'll make you feel more confident. Even if you just have that information, making that decision will make you feel confident with that decision. Number 3 is understand all per person costs. So the venue typically will have a cost per individual you invite, and there's also little things in the fine lines that you might not be paying attention to. So we recommend that you guys pay attention to that, because that can really change your price a lot. Like a lot.
A lot. So you need to go through and make sure you understand whatever quotes you get, especially from the venue, and find out, you know, what are their per person charges, what are their group charges. Sometimes they'll have like a gratuity kind of fee, like a service fee, and that'll apply to certain things in the quote, but not other things. And then if you want to have a certain type of chair, they're going to charge you per person. So you know what that is.
It's just so many little things.
For your invitations, your save the dates, you need to be aware of what all of those different things are, because they definitely drive your cost when you have, you know, a good sized wedding.
Yeah, and even some venues will have a certain number of people that you have to have, a certain number of people that, you know, like a minimum number. So it's good to have an idea of all that stuff and just be aware of it before, you know, signing the contract, or just kind of understanding, because sometimes people will forget that, and come 3 months down the line, you read it again, and you're like, oh shoot, we didn't realize that happened. So
not that happened to anybody in this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Last week. So, and different venues do it differently. They'll require that you guarantee a certain minimum number of guests, but you can add more guests later. So you need to be careful with that, because if you tell them, hey, I'm expecting 200 people, and then you find out that only, you know, 150 are showing up, you're still paying for the extra 50.
Yep.
You know, and some venues will do it based on price, that you have to spend, you know, a certain minimum number of dollars, and then you need to know what things that they count against that versus don't count against that. It's the details. It's looking at the fine print that matters.
Yeah,
so
sure.
so you know what you're signing up for, right? And that you don't get surprised by anything.
Yep. Number 4 is when you're sending out invitations, make sure you take a photo of it. So this is something John just figured out that was such a good idea because we didn't realize that there'd be people who said they didn't get an invitation, or somebody might be like, you didn't send something to me, and we actually did, so we can go back and actually like check that. And so John actually took a photo of every single invitation we did, or save the date, or whatever we sent out, and that was very helpful. So definitely.
And also, the biggest reason why I did it was kind of like a quality control, to make sure that I hadn't made a mistake in checking off people off of the list.
That's true.
And so it gives me a way to go back, look at the pictures, and go, wait a second, I'm missing an envelope for this person. We must not have sent somebody that.
Yeah.
So by having the process where you always take a picture before you mail it, and then you put it in this folder, everything in that folder is what you've mailed. So if anything's missing, you need to send another letter because you forgot it.
Yep.
And it's really easy when you're dealing with a whole bunch like that to overlook somebody or to check something off in error.
Oh yeah, because we have a big number of people, so
Yeah.
definitely helps. So good job, Boo.
Thanks, girl.
Number 5 is pay attention to the stamps for the postage and everything else that goes into sending out letters. Because as you guys may be aware, the more you stuff into an envelope, the more money you're gonna pay. So if you want to send out a lot of stuff, that's great. Just know that it's gonna cost a lot more. I think you said per ounce. Yeah, how does that work?
So one stamp will cover 1 ounce on a letter, a flat letter though. It has to be able to fit into a slot.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with a guy at the post office who was kind of asking me what I was doing, and he gave me some good advice about how he had this one lady who came in and she wanted to send her save the date as like a message in a bottle because she thought that was really cute. It might have been cute, but it cost her a fortune to
I don't
send
think
out
she
the
realized
ones
that.
she had no idea. She didn't know. And so she was taken by surprise again because of something she didn't know. So it's all about like getting information and making a plan so that when you go through it, you're not surprised, because you wouldn't want to go through, make up all these great save the dates that are gorgeous or invitations, and then you get to the post office and they're like, that's going to cost you 3 times as much as you thought it was.
So
You know, so get information. The post office also has information on their website about like how they want stuff addressed.
Right.
If you do with like a really, really, really fancy font,
you can get lost.
it can get lost, it can be delayed, because they're scanning this stuff with a computer to read what your address that you wrote down, and if the machine can't read it, then they have to divert it, and that can cause delays and other issues.
Yeah.
So that was good to know.
Yeah, it was. So if you're thinking about doing fancy invitations, maybe go a little less on the things you're putting in it, and do more on the website. That's one thing we did, is we had less in our invitations, but then did more on our website, which I honestly think gets the information out regardless. So if you want to do it that way, you might be able to save a little bit of money in stamps and all that good stuff.
And sometimes you might have to change some of that information. So for example, there was an issue that we noticed with the hotel booking link. And so we had to go back to the hotel and they had to recreate the link. Well, we just re-uploaded it to the website. Had we put the whole link in the invitation, now that wouldn't have worked for anybody, and that would have been a huge problem.
Right.
So referring them to the website gives you the ability to adjust things and give people the latest and greatest and best information.
Absolutely. Number 6 is do some DIYs that can really help you save some costs. So something John and I are doing in our wedding planning is we're doing some things on our own. I mean, not every single thing, but we're doing things, for instance, monogram. John was able to do that by getting a projector. Do you want to tell him about that?
Yeah, so again, shop around, get costs on things. And when I realized how they were doing the monograms, they were basically just, using a projector like you would use, that you would hook up to a computer or watch TV on or what have you. And those things are so cheap these days. You can get LED projectors way cheaper than they charge you for one event. And so if you already have a projector, you're good to go. And a lot of the new projectors include the ability to display a picture or a video.
And it still looks really good, you guys. Like, it doesn't look like subpar. Like, it actually looks good.
Yeah, it's the same thing they're doing, right? The one thing is you need to figure out how you're gonna mount it in your venue or wherever. So you need to think that through and make sure you know where the outlet is, make sure you have a long enough extension cord, have that detail. But yeah, look at what they're charging and say, is this something that I can quickly and easily do for a similar or better cost, and end up with a projector at the end, you know?
So yeah, we're doing that. We're doing, you know, might be doing some centerpieces and the photo booth. John's actually creating it. My electrical engineer is very gifted. So he's gonna be making our photo booth. So there's a lot of things you guys can do in regards to saving money.
And on the photo booth, you don't have to do like a whole custom setup like I'm doing. There are photo booth apps that you can put on an iPad with a ring light. And I've seen a bunch of those. Some of them are paid, some of them are not. But that compared to renting a photo booth for the whole night can be a huge cost savings.
Yeah.
As long
That's
as
so true, yeah. The people who are standing there or whatever, like
absolutely
setting it up, yeah.
And even if you choose not to do a photo booth, just having a picture background, that's become a whole lot more popular in parties these days. So have a place for people to take pictures, because these days people want to.
Yeah.
And we're still working on a plan for sharing so that people can share their pictures with us. And we're looking at a few different things. So the latest and greatest information on that is going to be, you know, posted on the website.
Number 7 is interview multiple DJs, because the DJ will be like the highlight. I won't say the highlight because we're the highlight, but they're like a big part of the night.
They make the party.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a bad DJ just kills your vibe.
It does. Like, music is like, yeah,
and
there's 3 important things in a wedding, and like, what was it, like music, food,
and alcohol.
And alcohol. People like to drink.
And with that food and alcohol, your agenda. Yeah. Okay, that's a corollary, if you will.
Yeah.
If you make them sit through a whole bunch of stuff before they get to their food, people are going to be hungry.
Right.
Right. And so you want to get people food. You want to do it quickly. You want to make sure that they have, you know, the drinks that they like to drink.
Yeah, and the person who's going to help with that is the DJ.
And then the DJ. Yeah. Right, because he makes the party hype, or he totally kills the vibe and everybody's happy to go. And
some people will just leave early and it defeats the purpose of the whole party you're trying to throw. So you don't want that. So definitely talk to some different ones. Get a good vibe around them. And if you get a good vibe, like, that's great. If you don't, I would recommend leaving, because sometimes you just need to trust your instinct.
Trust your instinct. Yeah. Right? And especially trust a woman's instinct. If you're meeting with a vendor and she's like, I'm not feeling this, keep looking. Yeah,
there's been a few people I was just like, I really can't put my finger on it, but
I don't feel right about this. Okay, we're gonna go interview somebody else.
Yeah, which has been really helpful for us, I think. So
exactly. It's the more people that you talk to, the more information you have, the better decision you can make, and the more comfortable you're gonna be with your decision. So it takes a little bit of time, and you need to start early.
Yeah, we started a whole year.
Because if you have, you know, 3 months left, you don't have time for all those meetings.
Oh yeah.
But take your time.
And he will be booked too, so you need to make sure to like book them in time.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that we should have mentioned. Book your venue early.
Oh yeah, that's the number one thing. I feel like
you're a year out, jump on it. Like see a bunch of venues. That was the first thing we booked. Yeah. And I would definitely recommend that. I would also recommend, you know, you need to know your venue. Yeah. If you're doing a church, you got to line that up.
The ceremony, what's gonna happen?
Make sure your ceremony space, make sure those are lined up. Those are the first things. If you don't have a place for it, it's not happening. Yeah. And then you move on to the things like if you're having any caterers, DJs. Again, DJs book up, so you want to get to that early in your planning process. Florists can also book up. Cake makers can also book up.
All of them.
So you need to be doing that in advance, as soon as you can. Be confident, and there are going to be some things that you won't be 100% certain on, like exactly what you need. Yeah. So you need to figure out the information you need to make those decisions, like having conversations with your venue about seating layouts and stuff like that, so you kind of understand what's going on.
Number 8 is never make a decision in front of a vendor. So something John and I do is we'll talk to a vendor, we'll get, you know, the information, and if we were really liking them, that's great, but we'll never be like, yeah, we want you right now, because we haven't discussed it. So we'll make sure to always leave and talk about it with each other. There was one time where I thought John really liked something, and when I found out afterwards, I found out he didn't. So if I had just been like, yeah, let's do it right now, and we wouldn't have been on the same page. So one thing that really helps us is talking about it afterwards and then making a decision later on, even if that's like the next day, even though something.
Or even later that day.
Yeah.
You know, you might walk out and, you know, have a conversation over dinner and then call the vendor up that same day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just give yourself a few minutes even to talk about it.
And the pushier they're being, the more adamant you need to be on, well, we need to talk about it before.
Yeah, if they're saying you need to book me right now, that's probably a good sign that you need to just not
Talk to other people.
Yeah, because we don't like that. But yeah, so that's one thing you guys should do. Speaking of which, number 9 is communicate with each other. So the biggest thing I think in this whole wedding process, because this is not, the numbers aren't like highest to the lowest, this is very important, is communicate with each other, be on the same page, figure out each other's priorities, because John and I might, for instance, might have different priorities for what's important to us, so we need to talk about that and say, you know, express that so we both understand. And it also just helps us with planning the budget and planning what we're gonna prioritize and what we're gonna spend money on, because we need to spend money on the things that we both really want for our guests. So
yeah, your budget needs to match your priorities.
yeah.
Right? So if the dress is really important to you, then your budget's gonna reflect that. But what that means is some of those other categories are not important to you. If it's something that you don't actually care about, then either don't spend money on it or don't spend much money on it.
Yeah, spend less on the cake if it's not as important to you, or you know, lighting, but whatever it is, like make sure you guys are on the same page, because that really helps.
Don't get wrapped up in the Pinterest or Instagram trying to beat everybody in every category.
Yeah.
Okay? Focus on the things that actually matter to you each as a couple.
I agree with that, definitely. Number 10 is RSVPs are essential, and we're both learning that right now because
I've been a terrible guest at other weddings, and for all
I don't even RSVP sometimes.
all of those weddings that that I didn't RSVP early to, or didn't send a decline to, or didn't bring a big enough gift to, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'd like to apologize to you each now. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've never been in this spot, and now that I am, RSVP as soon as you know if you're gonna come, or even if you're not gonna come.
It helps us know who's coming. It helps us figure out the head count. Like, we need to know that stuff. And so, I mean, it's good to receive them on time. But we realize, like, you know, try not to wait last minute if you can help it.
Yeah, and if I know that I'm not, from now on, if I know that I'm not able to attend something, I'm gonna send a decline immediately.
Yeah, like, don't feel bad.
I always felt bad, like I'm rejecting you, and I never wanted to make somebody feel that way. But sitting on this side of it, I'm like, just tell me.
Yeah.
If you can't make it,
that is okay.
I'm sorry.
You understand.
I would love to see you.
Yeah.
But it's totally fine. I need to figure out what this head count is, so I know how many people to plan for.
Yeah, because a lot of vendors will ask you, okay, so what's your head count? Or like, I mean, we can give you what we think we know, but yeah. So definitely, like, if you get an invitation to RSVP, or that's what we're learning. So we're gonna do that from now on.
Oh yeah. Yep. Again, for those people I haven't done it to in the past, I'm sorry.
Yes, me too. So
even if you can't make it, RSVP declines are almost more important than accepts.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and the sooner the better. So yeah, I'm going to do that moving forward.
Yeah, and that goes into our 11th point, which is RSVPs can be done through internet. Like, they don't have to be done through, you know, sending a little note back to you. It can really be done through the Knot or whatever the other wedding apps they have going on.
And some of our guests have chosen to mail them back, and that's very thoughtful of you, and included like really thoughtful notes, and that's appreciated.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Super nice.
We tried to make it easy to do it digitally so that nobody had to spend time or money if they didn't want to. You can, you know, go online and do it. And if you have any issue with that, we even included a number you can text to say, I'm coming or I'm not, and just send us a text, right? So trying to make it as easy as possible for people, but not everybody, I think, realizes that that's an option. Like, we put it on the card, but maybe we didn't communicate it as clearly.
We do live in a very digital world now, where I think everybody has their phones, but some people still like the old school stuff, which is fine. So, you know, we might have to like go and talk to people and ask around, but definitely I think it's an option to be able to do it online. I think it helps.
The thing that's really awesome about it is how quick it is, right? You can literally go on there and I'll know, because the Knot's gonna send me an email saying this person just RSVP'd.
Yeah.
And I'll pull it up and go, okay, cool. Now I'm getting a better idea what the numbers are.
Yeah.
So, and of course, you know, it saves money for postage.
Stamp, right.
Exactly. And, you know.
And time. I feel like when I receive a letter and I have to like send another one back, I'm almost like inclined to do it take a lot longer to do it versus if I have my phone where I'm on it a lot. So that's just the way we looked at it, but you know, either way is fine.
Number 12, this goes back to communication, and it goes back to, you know, laying out a good plan, but make up specifically a Google account for both of you that you're both logged into, because you can create sheets on there that you can both see. So your wedding budget is going to be on there, but in sheets, it's not just going to be a budget, it's going to be people for a head count, because the Knot will let you upload a Google sheet into their system, and they'll, instead of you having to type each person in, you can have it formatted in a sheet and just upload it that way.
Right.
There's going to be all kinds of information.
Yeah, we talked about like our wedding, we did our wedding party stuff on there, like through the docs. So we just shared it. This is an easy way for us to share it with each other, I think.
Exactly. So we can both see the same information, and then you're literally on the same page.
Yeah, literally. Pun intended.
And then also having an email that is dedicated for the wedding planning. You give that out to vendors if you go to trade shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're going to send you a whole bunch of stuff saying, hey, pick us. And you can put that all in one account.
And we can both see it.
That we can both see, and then if you want, you can keep the account later or not.
Yeah,
but it's a big deal to have that clear communication and that shared resources and the shared drive. We've put pictures of you know, a bunch of venues we put up there so we can both look at them.
That's so helpful.
So the reason why I said an email account, especially a Gmail account, is because it comes with docs, it comes with slides, it comes with the drive, and it comes with the account. So all of those things are, you know, super useful and helpful in capturing all the information about the wedding.
So there you have it. Those are our 12 points to help you hopefully save some money on your wedding if you're planning one, or in the future if you're planning one. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys have any other like wedding questions, or if you even have some other wedding tips for us since we're still in the process of planning, you can leave them down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe again, and we both will hopefully see you in another video. Bye.